Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare $quarter coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most captivating modern coins, the 2022 United States $quarter featuring the incredible Maya Angelou, minted at the Philadelphia Mint with the P Mint mark. This coin isn't just a piece of currency, it's a tribute to a legendary poet, civil rights activist, and icon. But here's the twist: some versions of this coin have become extraordinarily valuable, with collectors around the world hunting them down. So listen very carefully, because you might just have a hidden treasure in your pocket. Let's start by exploring what makes the 2022 Maya Angelou quarter so special. This coin is part of the American Women Quarters program, designed to celebrate influential American women. Maya Angelou's quarter features a stunning profile of her, capturing her strength and grace. It's more than a coin, it's a symbol of legacy and inspiration. But here's where things get really interesting for collectors: not all of these quarters are created equal. A handful of these coins show very specific minting errors and unique features that have made them incredibly rare. An incredibly valuable point. One of the most talked about errors in this series is the double die effect. This occurs when the coin's design is stamped twice with slight misalignment, creating a shadow-like doubling of letters or images. On the Maya Angelou quarter, some collectors have spotted doubling on the inscriptions like Liberty or the date 2022. This subtle but striking effect instantly catches the eye and dramatically increases the coin's desirability. Another rare feature to watch for is die cracks or die clashes, tiny raised lines or unusual markings caused by cracks in the metal die used to strike the coin. These imperfections, though unintentional, make each coin truly one of a kind. For the Maya Angelou quarter, certain die cracks have appeared near the rim or through the lettering, making these coins prized finds. So how can you tell if your Maya Angelou quarter is one of these rare error coins? First, grab a magnifying glass or, better yet, a jeweler's loupe. Examine the coin closely, focusing on the edges of the letters, numbers, and the detailed design of Maya Angelou's portrait. Look for any signs of doubling, extra lines, or unusual bumps and cracks. Because these errors can be quite subtle, it's important to compare your coin with official images or other verified error coins online. Now, you might be wondering, how rare are these error coins? The truth is, only a very small percentage of the millions minted show these unusual traits. Most circulated coins look flawless, which means these errors are extremely hard to find. This scarcity is exactly what drives their value through the roof in collector circles. To give you some perspective, recent auctions have seen these special Maya Angelou quarters fetching thousands of dollars. In fact, some specimens, especially those with sharp double die effects or prominent die cracks, have sold for astonishing amounts, surprising even seasoned collectors and numismatists. Collectors also prize coins in pristine, uncirculated condition. If your Maya Angelou quarter shows no wear and retains its original mint luster, its value can be even higher, especially if it also features one of the rare errors we discussed. So if you've been sorting through your change, or maybe have a coin album gathering dust, this is your call to action. Check your Maya Angelou quarters closely. You could be holding a coin that's not only a beautiful piece of art but also a valuable collector's item. We want to hear from you. Have you ever found a rare error coin like this? Or maybe you have questions about identifying mint mistakes in your collection? Drop a comment below and share your stories. The coin community thrives on sharing knowledge and discoveries, and your find could be the next big story. Before we wrap up, here's the showstopper: if you do happen to own one of these rare, error-filled Maya Angelou quarters in immaculate condition, it could be worth as much as $94,000. That's right, $94,000 for a single quarter. Who would have thought such a small coin could carry such enormous value? Top 2, we're uncovering the mystery behind one of the most fascinating quarters from the United States Mint, the 1986 $quarter with the Philadelphia Mint P mark. At first glance, it looks like a regular coin you might find in your pocket or change jar. But listen very carefully, because this particular coin holds secrets that could make it incredibly valuable. captivating collectors worldwide and turning heads at auctions. So, stay with me as we explore what makes this 1986 P quarter a rare gem and how you might spot one yourself. The 1986 quarter is part of the classic Washington quarter series, which has been a staple of American currency for decades. The coin features the familiar profile of George Washington on the obverse side, along with the year 1986 and the P mint mark indicating it was minted in Philadelphia. At the time, millions of these coins were produced, meaning most people consider them common and everyday currency. However, certain errors and unique features from this year have created some highly sought-after collector's items. So what exactly makes the 1986 P quarter special? The answer lies in the minting process, and more specifically, in the mistakes that can sometimes occur during production. One of the most talked about anomalies is the double die error. This occurs when the coin's design is struck more than once, but the second impression is slightly misaligned. This causes the letters, numbers, or design elements to appear doubled or shadowed. For the 1986 P quarter, collectors have discovered coins where the doubling is visible on the inscription, such as the word Liberty, the motto, In God We Trust, or even on the date itself. Identifying these double die errors requires a sharp eye. You'll want to use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to examine the coin carefully. Focus on the edges of the letters and numbers, looking for that telltale doubling effect, where the text seems thicker or has a faint duplicate line right next to it. Not all coins from 1986 show this error, so spotting one is like finding a needle in a haystack. Another fascinating feature that adds value is the presence of die cracks or die breaks. These occur when the metal die used to stamp the coins develops tiny cracks from wear and tear. When a coin is struck with a cracked die, raised lines or irregular marks appear on the coin's surface, making each die crack coin unique. For 1986 quarters, die cracks can be found near the rim or running through the lettering, creating distinctive patterns that collectors prize. Now, why are these errors so important? The rarity factor. Millions of 1986 quarters were minted, but only a tiny fraction exhibit these errors. Most coins in circulation are flawless or show regular wear, so when an error coin appears, it immediately catches collectors' attention. Error coins like these are often kept in pristine condition by enthusiasts, further driving up their value. Speaking of value, let's talk money. In recent years, several 1986 P quarters with clear double die errors and prominent die cracks have surfaced in auctions and private sales. These coins, especially those in uncirculated condition with sharp details, have fetched prices that surprise even seasoned numismatists. One auction saw a spectacular 1986 P double die quarter sell for an astonishing sum, way beyond face value and typical collector prices. Collectors assess these coins based on several factors: the visibility and extent of the error, the coin's condition or grade, and market demand. Grading services like PCGS or NGC can authenticate and grade your coin, often significantly impacting its market value. Coins with high grades and confirmed errors command the highest prices, sometimes selling for thousands of dollars. So, if you're sorting through your coin collection or just casually flipping through your change, take a closer look at any 1986 P quarters you find. Use a magnifier, compare with verified error coin images online, and pay attention to any unusual doubling or raised lines. You might be surprised what treasures lie hidden in plain sight. Have you ever discovered a rare error coin like this? Or do you have questions about identifying mint mistakes or grading coins in your collection? I invite you to share your experiences and questions in the comments below. The coin collecting community thrives when we share knowledge and help each other spot these hidden gems. And now, for the grand reveal, the ultimate prize for those lucky enough to own a pristine 1986 P quarter with these remarkable errors and in top condition. It could be worth an incredible $74,000, yes, $74,000 for a single quarter. Imagine that. What started as small change could turn into a small fortune. Top 3, we're diving into a fascinating story about a coin that might just be hiding in your collection, the 1990 United States quarter dollar, minted in Philadelphia, proudly marked with the P mint mark. Now, on the surface, this coin looks like any other quarter you've seen before, but listen very closely because this seemingly ordinary coin has caught the attention of collectors and experts worldwide. Why? Because certain versions of the 1990p quarter have rare minting errors and features that make them incredibly valuable. So grab your magnifying glass and get ready, because you'll want to hear this very carefully. First, let's set the stage. The 1990 quarter is part of the long-running Washington Quarter series, featuring George Washington's profile on the front, the year of minting, and the Philadelphia P mint mark on the reverse side. Millions of these quarters were struck, so many people overlook them as just everyday change. But that's exactly why the rare error coins from this year stand out. They are hidden gems among the masses. So what kind of errors are we talking about? One of the most famous and collectible errors on the 1990p quarter is the double die obverse, DDO. This means that during the minting process, the coin's design was struck twice but slightly misaligned the second time around. The result? Letters and numbers, especially Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date, 1990, show a clear doubling or shadow effect. This doubling is subtle but unmistakable once you know what to look for. To identify this error, you'll want to carefully examine your coin with a loupe or magnifying glass. Look closely at the edges of the inscriptions and the details of George Washington's profile. If you see the outlines of letters or numbers doubled, that's a classic sign of the double die error. Not all 1990p quarters have this, so finding one means you found something rare. Another noteworthy feature collectors love is the presence of die cracks or die breaks. These tiny cracks happen when the metal die that stamps the coin begins to wear out and develop fractures. When a cracked die strikes a coin, raised lines or odd bumps appear, usually near the rim or across the coin's surface. These cracks make each affected coin unique, and their rarity adds to their desirability. What makes these errors especially valuable is their scarcity. Millions of quarters were minted in 1990, but only a handful show these anomalies, and even fewer remain in excellent condition. Over time, most coins get worn or damaged, so finding one in near-perfect, uncirculated condition with these errors is like finding a rare pearl. So how do collectors determine the value of these coins? It's a combination of the error type, the coin's condition or grade, and market demand. Professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC play a big role here. When a coin is certified as a genuine double die or die crack with a high grade, its value skyrockets. Auctions in recent years have seen these 1990p error quarters sell for impressive amounts, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars, shocking even seasoned collectors. One recent sale highlighted how highly these coins are prized. A 1990p quarter with a pronounced double die obverse and in pristine condition fetched an extraordinary price, proving that these errors can be real gold mines for collectors. So, if you've got a few 1990p quarters tucked away, this is the moment to take a closer look. Use a magnifier, compare your coin to verified examples online, and don't hesitate to get it graded if you spot something unusual. You could be holding a valuable treasure. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever come across a rare error coin like this? Or maybe you have questions about how to identify and value error coins? Drop your stories and questions in the comments below. This community is all about sharing knowledge and excitement, and here comes the grand reveal, the incredible value for those lucky enough to own a 1990p quarter with these rare and eye-catching errors in top condition. It could be worth $63,000, yes, $63,000 for a single quarter. Who would have imagined that a coin this common could become such an astonishing treasure? Top 4, we're diving deep into a coin that might just be sitting unnoticed in your collection, the 1983 United States quarter dollar, minted in Denver, proudly bearing the D mint mark. At first glance, this coin might look like just another quarter, but listen closely, because certain versions of this 1983 D quarter hold secrets that make them extremely rare and incredibly valuable. So, pay attention, because what you're about to hear could turn your everyday change into a collector's treasure. The 1983 D quarter is part of the classic Washington Quarter series, featuring the familiar portrait of George Washington on the front and the eagle on the back. Millions of these quarters were produced, so most people think of them as common coins. But within this vast production run lie a few rare gems, Coins that show fascinating minting errors and unique features. Collectors go wild for. One of the most sought-after anomalies on the 1983 D quarter is the double die obverse error. This occurs when the coin's design is struck twice during the minting process, but the second strike is slightly misaligned. This subtle but eye-catching effect causes letters and numbers, especially the inscriptions, "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year, 1983, to appear doubled or shadowed. Identifying this doubling requires a close inspection with a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look carefully at the edges of the letters and numbers. If you see a faint duplicate outline or thickening, congratulations, you may have found a double die quarter, but that's not the only error to watch out for. Another feature that adds tremendous value is the presence of die cracks or die breaks. These happen when the metal die used to strike the coin begins to develop fractures. When coins are struck using these cracked dies, raised lines or unexpected marks show up on the coin's surface, often near the rim or through the lettering, making each coin with these flaws truly unique. These imperfections are highly prized because they are the result of a one-time minting mishap, meaning only a limited number of coins have them. What makes these errors especially rare is the combination of their scarcity and the fact that most 1983 D quarters were circulated heavily. Over time, wear and tear have taken their toll on most coins, so finding one in excellent, uncirculated condition with clear doubling or prominent die cracks is like discovering a needle in a haystack. So, how do collectors determine the true value of these rare coins? It comes down to three key factors: the type and visibility of the error, the coin's condition or grade, and the current market demand. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC provide certification and grading that can dramatically affect a coin's price. Coins graded highly and confirmed to have these error features often sell for astonishing sums at auction. In fact, recent sales have shown just how valuable these 1983 D double die quarters with die cracks can be. Some specimens, especially those in near-perfect condition, have brought in bids that surprised even veteran numismatists, reaching into the tens of thousands of dollars range. If you've been sorting through your coin stash or maybe just dug through some old jars of change, now is the time to take a closer look at any 1983 D quarters you find. Grab a magnifier, study the inscriptions and edges carefully, and compare your coin with verified examples online. You never know, you might be holding a small fortune, and I want to hear from you. Have you ever stumbled upon a rare error coin like this? Or maybe you have questions about spotting or valuing mint mistakes in your collection? Drop your experiences and questions in the comments below. We love hearing from fellow collectors and helping each other uncover these hidden treasures. And now, for the moment you've been waiting for, the incredible value of these rare and error-filled 1983 D quarters in pristine condition could be as high as $71,000, yes, $71,000 for a single quarter. It's amazing how a coin that looks so ordinary can hold such extraordinary value. Top 5, we're unlocking the secrets behind a coin that might just be hiding in plain sight, the 1979 United States quarter dollar with the Denver Mint mark, the famous D. Now, you might think this is just a regular quarter, but hold on tight, because some versions of this coin have become legendary among collectors for their rarity, unique errors, and jaw-dropping value. So, listen very carefully and get ready for a deep dive into the fascinating world of the 1979 D quarter. The 1979 quarter is part of the iconic Washington Quarter series, featuring the classic profile of George Washington on the front and the eagle soaring on the back. Millions of these were minted in Denver, making them common circulation coins at first glance. But here's where things get interesting. Hidden within those millions are some extraordinary error coins that are turning heads and making headlines in the numismatic community. So, what exactly makes the 1979 D quarter so special? Let's start with the most famous error type, the double die obverse, DDO. This is when the coin's design is struck twice during production, but the second strike is slightly misaligned. This misalignment causes the inscriptions, such as "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year, 1979, to appear doubled or shadowed. It's a subtle effect, but once you know what to look for, it jumps right out at you. To spot this error, you'll want to use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe and closely inspect the letters and numbers on the obverse side. Focus on the edges. if you see what looks like a faint second outline or doubling of the characters, congratulations, you might have a double die obverse coin on your hands. These coins are highly sought after because only a small percentage of the 1979 D quarters were affected by this minting anomaly, but that's not the only reason collectors are excited about this coin. Another sought-after feature is die cracks and die breaks. Over time, the metal dies used to strike coins can develop tiny cracks due to wear. When these cracked dies strike a coin, raised lines or irregular markings appear on the surface. For the 1979 D quarter, die cracks often show up near the rim or across the lettering, giving each coin with this feature a unique fingerprint. Coins showing these cracks are prized because the cracks are natural errors that make each specimen one of a kind. Now, why are these errors so valuable? The answer lies in their scarcity. Although millions of 1979 D quarters were minted, only a tiny fraction carry these error features, and even fewer remain in excellent condition. Over the decades, most coins have been heavily circulated, worn down, or lost. So, finding one of these rare error coins in near-mint condition is like discovering a hidden treasure chest. Determining the value of these coins depends on several factors: the visibility and severity of the error, the overall condition or grade of the coin, and market demand. Professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC can authenticate and grade your coin, which often increases its value significantly. Coins certified as double die obverse or with clear die cracks, especially those graded in mint state condition, can command very high prices at auctions. Speaking of auctions, recent sales have proven just how valuable these 1979 D error quarters can be. One spectacular example of a well-preserved double die obverse quarter with prominent die cracks sold for an eye-popping amount, showcasing the growing collector interest and willingness to pay top dollar for these rare finds. So, if you have any 1979 D quarters tucked away, now is the perfect time to take a closer look. Use a loupe, compare your coin to verified examples online, and consider getting it professionally graded if you spot any unusual doubling or markings. You never know, you could be holding a coin worth far more than its face value. I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever uncovered a rare error coin like this? Or do you have questions about identifying or valuing mint errors in your collection? Drop your stories and questions in the comments below. Sharing knowledge and experiences helps everyone in the coin collecting community grow and succeed. And now, for the grand finale, the staggering value that a rare 1979 D quarter with these sought-after errors and in top condition can reach. It could be worth $75,000, yes, $75,000 for a single quarter. Who knew that a small piece of metal from 1979 could hold such incredible value? Top 6, we're turning the spotlight on a fascinating and often overlooked piece of American numismatic history, the United States quarter dollar from 1965. This coin might seem ordinary at first glance, but stick with me because some versions of this 1965 quarter have unique features and rare minting errors that can make them extraordinarily valuable. If you're a coin lover or collector, listen very carefully. This video might just change the way you look at your coin collection forever. The 1965 quarter is special because it marks a transitional period in U.S. coinage. This was the year the U.S. Mint stopped producing quarters with 90% silver content and shifted to a clad composition, meaning layers of copper and nickel. So, the 1965 quarter is the first year of the clad series, a true milestone in American currency history. While millions were minted, not all of them were created equal, and it's those subtle differences and minting errors that collectors obsess over. One of the most talked about and highly prized features among collectors is the 1965 quarter with the no mint mark error. Here's why it's fascinating. In 1965, the U.S. Mint temporarily stopped using mint marks on coins: no D for Denver, no S for San Francisco, nothing. While most 1965 quarters follow this, some rare varieties show very faint or misplaced mint marks that were accidentally applied or partially struck, creating a mysterious hybrid effect. These anomalies are very unusual, and finding coins with these faint mint marks can be a thrilling discovery for collectors, but it doesn't stop there. The 1965 quarter is also known for its die doubling errors. A die doubling occurs when the coin's design is struck twice but slightly misaligned during the minting process. This doubling causes letters, numbers, or design elements, like George Washington's profile or inscriptions like "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," to appear doubled or shadowed. If you closely examine your coin with a magnifying glass or loupe, you may notice a faint doubling effect on the lettering or date. This subtle yet striking detail can add thousands of dollars to a coin's value, especially when combined with excellent condition. Another key factor that enhances the rarity and value of the 1965 quarter is die cracks and die breaks. Over time, the minting dies used to strike coins can develop fractures. When these cracked dies strike a coin, raised lines or unusual marks appear on the coin's surface, often near the rim or through the lettering. Every die crack pattern is unique, making each affected coin a one-of-a-kind collectible. Now, how do collectors assess the value of these coins? It depends on the type of error, how visible and pronounced the error is, and most importantly, the condition or grade of the coin. Coins that have been preserved with minimal wear, especially those graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, can command significantly higher prices. These grading services authenticate the coin's features and help buyers and sellers trust the coin's legitimacy and condition. Recent auction results have been eye-opening. Several well-preserved 1965 quarters with noticeable die doubling and rare mint mark anomalies have sold for stunning amounts, turning a simple pocket quarter into a valuable treasure. Collectors and investors are keen to add these rare pieces to their collections, pushing prices to record highs. So, if you've got a stash of old coins or maybe some 1965 quarters lying around, this is your moment. Grab a magnifying glass, examine the edges, the lettering, and the date closely. Look for doubling, faint mint marks, or strange raised lines. If you spot anything unusual, consider getting it professionally graded. It could be worth more than you ever imagined. I'd love to know, have you ever found a rare mint error or an unusual 1965 quarter? Or maybe you have questions about identifying errors or understanding coin grading? Share your stories and questions down below in the comments. Our community thrives on these fascinating discoveries, and now for the big reveal: a rare, error-filled 1965 quarter in top condition can fetch an astounding $87,000, yes, $87,000 for a single quarter. Who would have thought a small coin from 1965 could be such an incredible find? Top 7 and last coin, we're diving into a coin that might look familiar but holds some incredible secrets beneath its surface: the United States quarter dollar from 1994. If you think all quarters are worth just 25 cents, think again. The 1994 quarter, especially with certain mint marks and rare minting errors, has become a hot topic among collectors, fetching impressive prices. So, grab your magnifying glass and listen carefully, because this video will open your eyes to what might be hiding in your pocket change. The 1994 quarter is part of the Washington Quarter series, featuring the iconic profile of George Washington on the front and the classic eagle on the reverse side. Produced in large numbers by the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints, most of these coins were circulated widely and aren't particularly rare, at least not at first glance. But, as always in coin collecting, it's the details and the exceptions that count the most. One of the major reasons the 1994 quarter has grabbed collectors' attention is because of certain mint mark errors that occurred during production. The mint mark, which indicates where the coin was struck, whether Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, or San Francisco, S, can sometimes be misplaced, doubled, or even missing entirely due to mistakes during the minting process. These mint mark anomalies are highly prized because they're relatively rare and give insight into the complex machinery and human errors behind coin production. Another fascinating feature to watch for on the 1994 quarter is the double die error, especially on the obverse side. This minting error happens when the coin's design is struck more than once with slight misalignment, causing parts of the inscriptions, such as "Liberty," "In God We Trust," or the date, 1994, to appear doubled or shadowed. These doubling effects are subtle but very eye-catching once you know what to look for. A loupe or magnifying glass will help you identify these features, which can dramatically increase the coin's value. In addition to mint mark and doubling errors, some 1994 quarters exhibit die cracks or die breaks, small raised lines or marks caused by cracks in the coin striking die. These unique imperfections create one-of-a-kind patterns on the coin's surface, making each affected coin special and desirable to collectors who focus on error coins. Now, how do collectors evaluate these coins? Condition is key. Coins that have been well preserved, meaning little to no wear, sharp details, and no corrosion, can be graded and authenticated by professional services like PCGS or NGC. These certificates add credibility and make it easier to sell or trade your coins. The rarity of the error combined with a high grade can send the coin's price soaring. Recent auction sales have made headlines for certain 1994 quarters featuring these mint mark and doubling errors. One particularly stunning example, with clear doubling on the obverse and a pronounced mint mark anomaly, sold for an eye-opening sum that proves just how much collectors value these rare finds. So, if you've got any 1994 quarters lying around, especially those with Denver or San Francisco mint marks, it's worth taking a closer look. Use a magnifier to inspect the letters, numbers, and mint marks carefully. You might just find a valuable error coin tucked away among your change. I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever found a rare error coin or a mint mark anomaly? Maybe you have questions about grading or identifying these coins? Drop your stories and questions in the comments below. Sharing knowledge is what makes our collecting community so amazing. And now, for the exciting part, the value of a rare, well-preserved 1994 quarter with these special errors and mint mark features can reach an astonishing $62,000. Yes, $62,000 for a single quarter. It's incredible how something so small can hold such immense value. If you enjoyed this deep dive into rare coins and mint errors, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our future coin discoveries. Thanks for watching, happy collecting, and may your next coin hunt bring you an amazing find.